I'm Laura Huang. I'm a 2021 to 2022 Fulbright Fellow.
My name is Josh. I'm originally from Northwest Arkansas, and I'm here in Taiwan on Fulbright for 2021 to 2022.
I'm hosted at NTU, National Taiwan University, in the lab Autonomous and Soft Robotics Lab under Professor Guo Congxian.
So my affiliate is the Soundscape Association of Taiwan.
So this year my research is focused on human-computer interaction, specifically in the intersection of art and technology.
My affiliate is Miss Lila Fan from the Soundscape Association of Taiwan, and I came to work with her to pursue nature soundscape field recording.
Focus more on how people can interact with art and technology in maybe a more meaningful way.
When I first arrived in Taiwan, I was able to sit in on an international nature art festival that was being held at a nature preserve here in Taipei. My affiliate, Fan Laosi, was hosting the event where it was kind of like a sound education workshop where she invited a lot of listeners to engage in deep listening with the environment. That practice and that method of inviting people to listen in a space, in a creative space, is very important for me. And I've also been able to sit in on some meetings that her organization is involved with a bigger international organization called Quiet Parks International. And I think that observing how these organizations function and how they interact with each other has been a positive thing for me here in Taiwan.
Additionally, outside of my research, I've been taking many art classes in different traditional arts. I think that's something that I really didn't have the chance to explore, or even I didn't even know some of them existed in the States. So I've been taking classes in ink painting, calligraphy, seal carving, and that's a way for me to learn more about Taiwanese culture, hang out with all the Ais who feed me copious amounts of food. When I first got to Taiwan, I was really unsure of myself and how this year would shape up to look like, and I think by the end it was quite rewarding. By collaborating with another Fulbright fellow, Josh, we were able to host a joint exhibition together where we both were able to showcase everything that we've been working on.
Together we put on an exhibition called Elemental Transmogrification, 国语讲元素幻化. So elemental transmogrification is this idea that elements can transform from one state into another, and it happens in a very magical and surprising way. And I got this idea from my affiliate Fan Laosi when she was talking about the 5 different elements and how one of the elements, the bubbling hot spring, can really be thought of as 2 elements combined, the sound of fire and the sound of water combined into one. And so I thought that it would be really cool to have a multimedia collaborative art exhibition.
I think for mine, because it was about the intersection of art and technology, it was kind of how to transform parts of these traditional arts and combine some aspect of it with digital technology. So it's traditional versus modern, and how these things can transform and merge with each other.
So the first part of the exhibition was kind of like an opening musical performance. I have an experimental sound project called Asian Moses. So Asian Moses looks kind of critically into my identity both as being Jewish and Taiwanese. And for this project, I experimented with rap, I experimented with spoken word poetry, I covered a Taiwanese language song, and just made experimental electronic music.
My part of the exhibition had 3 small exhibits, all of them kind of playing around with concepts of calligraphy, and then just playing around with different sounds, trying to make something interesting and interact. So the first one was color blocks, but essentially what it is 5 different wooden blocks, so 5 of them, and then each color would represent a certain audio recording that mapped to a different element as well as a different sound. A webcam would look at these 5 blocks and determine the colors of each block and the order that they were in. And the first element represented the main sound. It was the main recording that was played, and then everything after represented a different sound effect. So based on how people place the blocks, how they played with the blocks, different sounds are created. The second one I called 3D transmogrification in motion. And so how this one worked was that people would move around in the space, and their motions were kind of drawn onto a screen. So your body motions would mirror how you would actually write. It was kind of playing around with the concept of paper and brush. So it goes from like motion in 3D space to a 2D screen, and then to like a digital 3D representation that you can like play around with on your phone. And then the last one was like a conductive ink interactive sound display, and based on what they write, it changes the capacitance value of your artwork. And my circuit that I created would read that capacitance value and map it to a certain audio recording that Josh had recorded. And it was just a really cool experience of kind of merging our own interests and our own work into one, because we were able to, I think, combine it in a meaningful way.
We had a very good turnout. We had over 70 people come into this tiny, crowded basement, but it was very touching to just see all those people come through. The advice I have for people who want to pursue a career in the arts is to follow the things that they really love.
The most important thing, at least that helped me here, was talking to people who are experts in what they do.
And I think that I don't have any specific pieces of culture or literature for anyone to consume, because it's going to be different for everyone. You have to find what you love and keep listening to the things that you love, keep doing the things that you love, and I think that will lead to a lot of productivity in your future. So the program has obviously a lot of ups and downs. I think one of the bigger challenges is to build and maintain a close relationship with your affiliate. But I think one of the most fruitful things that happened was that I was able to work as an independent artist and develop some skills that I've never developed before. These kinds of relationships also apply to collaborators that I've sought out in Taiwan.
I would say when I first got here, I had a lot of trouble with structuring my time and finding purpose and meaning in my work. I wanted to do something here that I couldn't do in the States, and I wanted to do something here that had meaning for others as well, and I had a hard time coming up with that.
I think that Fulbright students that come to Taiwan have a lot on their plates, and so maintaining relationships with the people that they sought out to come to Taiwan in the first place can be challenging, especially if they've uncovered parts of themselves that they might not have discovered before. And I think that Taiwan works on you like that. You come to Taiwan and you don't really know how you're going to change during that time, but then you uncover it for yourself, and it's challenging, but it's fresh and it's very honest.
I ended up finding a lot of calligraphy teachers, found a lot of people here that I could talk to in different fields, like both in my Meki department, there was some in like the computer science department, and then finding different art teachers. And having those conversations with people here and talking about their experiences helped shape my project.
I think coming to Taiwan specifically was important for my project because it allows me to step into my identity as someone who has Taiwanese cultural and ethnic heritage. This is something that I was not able to do in the United States because there's something about being in a geography where your family is that lets you tap into those parts of yourself that you weren't able to tap into from across the world. Taiwan geographically is also very unique, and I found myself being very grateful to have the opportunity to travel and see more of the environment that my family lives in.
I think Taiwan is very beautiful. I think just the landscape. I love how the city is kind of built in with nature. There's just so many different types of like ecosystems and landscapes here as well. I'm someone who also likes hiking, so like being in nature is really nice. Food is diverse, people are diverse, just there's so much complexity here that I didn't really know or think about prior to coming.
For the first time, I was able to see the country that my mom grew up in a completely different way. Because in the past, I've always only been here for short periods of time and visiting relatives during that time. But for the first time, I'm able to kind of forge my identity for myself. I think simply being in another country is one of the best things that you can do to embody a relationship of diplomacy. And so specifically what I've done to work on the relationship between my home country, the United States, and Taiwan is to take language courses in Mandarin, to spend more time with my friends and family who live here in the country, and to just kind of learn more about myself and my cultural and ethnic heritage, which is half Taiwanese. The most important thing that I've learned from working with the Soundscape Association of Taiwan is that organizations are really people-centered. My affiliate, Fan Lao Si, in addition to being a wonderful and talented film director, radio show host, and field recorder, is just she's a very good people person. And so she attracts people from all different backgrounds, from the sciences, from the arts, from public service, and brings all of them together under one organization.
Because of like the infrastructure here and how convenient things are, I'm able to like see a lot of the city and explore a lot more. Just because I'm able to like walk around, bike around, get around the city a lot easier than I would in the States. In the States, it's more like I'm either at home or at work, or it's hard to have that sort of like mobility.
I think most importantly, what organizations that are focused on soundscape education in the United States are lacking is this sense of community. And that's what I hope to bring back to the United States.
Previously, before coming to Taiwan, I really did not know much about this place. I just knew some basic facts. But after coming here and after like talking to all my friends and stuff, I've realized it was really nice learning more about like the history, the culture, like hearing about how they live their daily lives and seeing how in some ways it's almost the same as mine in the States or completely different. So it's just given me a more nuanced perspective of Taiwanese culture and people. And I think it has also widened my own perspective of how people live their lives and how they perceive the world.
I think what I've done is establish long-lasting connections. Specifically, I've built relationships with local Taiwanese artists, I've built relationships with my affiliate, and I've built relationships with international people that have been living in Taiwan at the time. I've also worked on building skills that I have not worked on in the United States, and I think that being in Taiwan, there's something really important about exploring skills that I've only been able to explore while in Taiwan.